Okay, I think I might be live now. I don't know. Welcome. Did I turn it around? Welcome. Hello. I hope everyone's here. I don't know. I think I'm live. This is the first Van of Action live broadcast on February the 25th, 2023. And when I scheduled this broadcast 3 weeks ago, I was hoping to be nice and warm and sunny. And that's just not the case. It's not happening that way at all. We're in the middle of a snowstorm. Check this out. This is the interior of British Columbia near Enderby, BC. If you wanted to go on Google Maps and look up Enderby, Enderby, and then look to the east of Enderby towards Maple Lake. I'm about halfway, right on the Shuswap River, and we are having a blizzard. Most of BC is having a blizzard today. We've probably got it not as bad as some. But anyway, there's the van. And today we are going to be looking at the roof rack. Oh, before I say that, I just want to say thanks to everybody. If you find this useful, please give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. This week we passed 2,000 subscribers, which just blows me away. I'll be doing a video about that in the next week or so. But it's just unbelievable to me how many people are watching these things, and it's I think it's really cool. I want to say thanks for doing that. It's really sweet that you're doing that. And today I want to check my roof rack, and the Van of Action roof rack. If you haven't seen the details of it, I will link to it at the end of this video when I'm able to do that. And this is a roof rack system that I designed. They're hold down clips, and the rack itself to hold up the solar panels was completely my design. And all in, I have less than $300 invested. And I know that the clips alone are worth $400 or $500 if you were to buy them online, and the rack, you can spend $1,200, $1,300 for the rack. It's absolutely unbelievable to me that I could do it that cheap, and that it's working so well. And also, this rack has been copied. This system has been copied by people in Canada, the United States, in the United Kingdom. People in Australia have mimicked this system, which I think is fantastic. Nothing feels better than coming out, looking at your van and looking at the roof rack and saying, I saved $1,200 up there. It's amazing. But when I built this rack, I'm a carpenter. I didn't know very much about what was going on. And when I built this rack, I built it with mostly what I had laying in the shop. I bought some aluminum, but the fasteners I used were just what I had laying around. And ever since I put it up there, I've had people posting online telling me that I should be using stainless steel, because if you don't use stainless steel with aluminum, and you use regular bolts, then the rack's going to rust and it's going to fall off the roof of the van or something. And I hear it every year. I get comments about that. That rack is 3 years old now. And every year I get up and I check it to see. And so far, up until last year, I didn't see any evidence of any deterioration. I did some checking online, and it seems that let's go up and take a look now. I got to hold the phone this way, so I hadn't set up to be able to do that. And I don't know how this is going to work, but let's just give it a shot. Here's the rack. And you'll see, right here, I haven't seen any. Now it's snowing, which I hadn't planned on it snowing, but I haven't seen any evidence at all of any deterioration on the clips at all. There's a little discoloring here. Maybe that's the start of something. I don't know. If anyone knows, leave a comment. That'd be great. These fasteners on these clips, I believe, are stainless steel, just because that's what I happen to have. And what I did earlier was, while I'm up here, I want to check my MC3 cables. What I did was, you'll see, I wrapped them up where the connectors are. I wrapped them in plastic just to avoid any condensation from getting in, or on a rainy day have water get in. I was hoping to check my combiner box today too, but I'm not going to do that in the snow. It doesn't seem like a very good idea. And what I did was I've already, because it's cold, I've already taken the bolts out of the top of this rail here, and I've taken the bolts out of this one here. I want to remove a clip just to see what it looks like. And you gotta get a little bit of play in the rail, in the top rail to be able to do that. It's a bit tough there one-handed, but I got it done there. Okay, so now I rigged this up to try and hold the camera, but I thought I could use the camera horizontally like this, but that's not good. Nope, see, I gotta do it this way. Okay, and let me just get down and rearrange this a little bit and see what I can do. You see, people have been telling me that because with anodized aluminum, if you use a dissimilar metal, there can be an electrolysis occur between the fastener and the aluminum, which causes corrosion. Not rust, but corrosion. That's what I've been hearing over and over and over again. You got to use stainless steel, or there's going to be corrosion and the roof rack will fall off. I used zinc anodized fasteners. That's just what I happened to have at the time. These are a zinc anodized fastener I picked up at Home Hardware. And apparently that zinc anodized metal can, if electrolysis occurs, can cause a breakdown in the aluminum. And I'm not actually certain because, again, I've had different stories. I'm not sure if the aluminum is supposed to corrode or whether the fastener is supposed to corrode. But something's supposed to corrode. And so I went online, I did a lot of research, and it says one site that I found that was supposed to be a metal expert website said it's unusual to see galvanic corrosion on aluminum in contact with stainless steel. That was one site. And I continued looking, and I found another site that said, this is a quote, due to their relative closeness on the nobility of metals chart, zinc plating would be better than stainless steel because stainless steel actually causes the aluminum to corrode in an attempt to protect the stainless steel further. So, just like everything online, you can find out exactly what you want to hear if you look far enough. So I don't know which one of those statements is true. So I called one of my best friends, Peter Huffman in Port Hope, Ontario. Peter's been a welder his whole life. He knows more about metal than I'll ever forget. And he said, Dave, I think you're wasting your time. He said, it's just a lot of bullshit. He said, in the lifetime you're going to live, in the lifetime of that roof rack, nothing's going to happen. And the function of it here, as I understand it, is the electrolysis. So, if you have your roof rack, or if you have aluminum exposed to the elements or to a lot of water, and you use a dissimilar metal, then there is, in theory, the possibility for electrolysis to occur, which could cause corrosion. But in the real world, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of difference. Anyway. So this is 3 years later. I don't see any evidence of wear and tear there. If I can with one hand, I want to try and get that clip off. Look how easily that just slid off there, right? I took these off earlier because it is about 7 below 0 Celsius today, and oftentimes these phones don't work very well in the cold. So I wanted to be ready. You don't need to watch it. Look at this. Well, that looks fine. That looks fine. I mean, the clip's a little dirty, but I don't see any evidence of any kind of deterioration at all. It looks absolutely fine, too. So, under normal circumstances, I would just say, well, that's dandy. I'm just going to put this back together again and tighten everything up and call it quits for another year. Next year, I'll get up and take a look at it again. But this year is a little different because this year, in the next week or so, just a second here, gotta get my gloves back on. In the next week or so, I'm going to be putting an awning on this van. And let me go over to the other side. The awning will be on the passenger side. And let me just show you now. All the weather, so it's hard to see. It's too bad it's snowing. I wanted to check all the weather seal up here as well, just see how it was looking. I'll do this another day too, but right now, at first glance, it looks like it's doing okay. Something you should do every spring, I would imagine, just to be wise and just to be practical and smart. Oh, I don't know if there's anybody out there. Anyhow, this is good. So, now I'm going to go over and show you the front of the van. So I picked up last week my new awning, and it's a Fiamma. I think it's an S45 is what they call it. And I'll be saying this in the awning video as well, but the thing that I love about this is because I have so little invested in my roof rack itself, I am comfortable spending a little more money on the awning. Because my research for awnings told me that it seems like either you're buying junk or you're going to spend a lot of money to get what you want. I don't mind spending the money because I have so little invested up here. Less than $300 so far, and the awning itself is going to run from this end of the roof rack, which is the front end. I'm going to have to add another member across the front to connect these two. I'm going to just to add strength so that when I mount the roof rack to this rail, it doesn't lean out. So I'll have to pick up another piece of aluminum and close that off. It'd be a nice place for a light bar too, maybe. And my awning will be 10 feet long, which takes it down to the second clip from the end, roughly, will be the end of the awning. To be honest, our purpose for an awning so far, wanting one so far, isn't so much for sun protection as it is for rain protection, because these ProMasters don't have a drip of any sort. And the van gets wider as it goes down, so when it rains, our experience is when it rains, the water runs off the roof, and if the door's open, it falls right inside the cabinet, and at this end of the door, it falls right on top of the kitchen cabinet. And so I'd like to try and prevent that. I was going to put and I still may put a drip rail on here, but I guess just glue something on, but I haven't seen one that seems to work very well. And with this awning, this is the bracket I have to mount on the rail. And I can choose whatever height I want to put it at. So if I have to do a little research, but I think if I keep it about a 3/4 of an inch off of the van roof, I know I can get a foam seal that I can squeeze into that void and just block the rain from coming in over the door and let it run down past the door and fall down the side of the truck further on. So this bracket is going to go here. I'll have to do a little research to... But once this bracket's on, you see, I won't be able to see those fasteners anymore. So next year, without taking the awning off, I won't be able to go through this exercise. And so what I've decided to do on this side, I'm going to replace all of the fasteners here on this side of the van with stainless steel. It's a total of 10 bolts on the bottom and 10 bolts on the top. So it's not going to take very long to do. And so it was all in, it cost less than $12 to buy all the material I need. And so I'm going to do that before I put the awning on, and I'm going to leave the other side with the zinc. And I'll be able to monitor the zinc each year and just see what happens, because I think there's a lot of people who are trying to be experts about something they've read about, and the theory may be correct, but it seems that it may be an absolute real-life experience. It may be a whole lot of talk about nothing. Now, I don't know. I think that's going to be good. This looks... I'm really pleased with the way this rack is looking, though. It's looking good. Again, this is my Max Air fan. If you're going to have fans in your van, if you're designing your van, have one in the front and then have one in the back as well. That's been one of the best things we did, and it was just a total accident on our part. But at night when you're sleeping, it doesn't matter where you are, no matter where you are, no matter in the world, at night it gets cooler. There's no question, it gets cooler. The air outside is cooler than the air inside the van. It just happens that way. So at night what we do is we turn this fan blowing out on the lowest speed. You can't even hear it. The Max Air is such a quiet fan. Have it blowing out on the lowest speed. And at the other end, we just crack the lid a little bit. And as this fan, because the van's sealed up so well, as this fan blows air out, it just naturally sucks air in right over top of the bed. We get a nice cool breeze over the bed all night long. We sleep better with no air conditioning. We sleep at night really well all summer long with that second fan. So I would suggest that someone do that. The back, again, we didn't know what we were doing, and I wanted to experiment. So the back fan is a Max Air fan. Oh, no, the front one's a Max Air fan. The back one is the Magic fan, I think it's called. It's a little louder. It's not near the quality of fan as the Max Air, and it was only about $150 less expensive. So, and I think I wouldn't necessarily spend the money on two Max Air fans, but you should have at least one, because this is just a beauty. It's really quiet and really powerful. Now guys, I'm gonna have to sweep this roof off now before I put it back away. Because again, if you had your aluminum exposed, like if this roof rack was covered with all this snow all winter long, then maybe there would be a chance of more electrolysis occurring. But I keep it in the shop, and it's not exposed to just anything other than just rain from time to time. We don't use it in the winter because we have a 3/4 of a kilometer long driveway, and it's full of snow most of the time. And then we get up on the mountain roads. It's just a little hairy. So anyway, I think that I'm really happy with this. I hope you all found this useful, and I hope it's been fun. I don't know if anybody's even watching. I can't tell. I don't know how to tell. But anyhow, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is Van of Action. Give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. And after this is downloaded, I will be putting some links to the videos in other places. So follow these other videos. Come on back and visit, and maybe we'll do this again someday. Cheers.